call of a dude, of a Max dude. No, not him. Maxime. There are many versions of Max. There's Max, then there's Max. Max is in so there is Max, the UK edition. There's Max, US edition. There's Maxime, the French edition. Then there's Maxis, the German edition. It's an AI bot that I've created, and I was just testing something out last night, and the Maxime. Oh, we're tired, kitty cat. The Maxime, the French version of my AI thingy secret project that I'm working on, is not cooperating properly. Thus, I'm going to have to go to the France and fix the servers over there in France, and add some spray to it. Does anyone really zone out when when you're fucking depressed and everything like that? Most people, let me tell you something. Most people don't know the extent of my suicidal thoughts, you see. Some people call it a bluff, some people call it a shmuff, some people call it a scuff, and some people call it a buff and a duff and a juff. But I'm waiting, ladies and gentlemen. I may be dead at this stage. I'm just thinking about it right now. I'm waiting for that one person to come in my life. And that one person will be a therapist or a professional kind of person that analyzes everything that I've said, everything that I've done, and everything like that, and will ultimately be in my favor. I'm waiting for that person to just come into my life and basically stop the count. Basically kill it all off. Kill off everything. Once that happens, then people are going to apologize. People are going to realize, because I'm beginning to think that there is no humanity when it comes to my situation, you see. There is no such thing as humanity or anything like that. No one is seeing, the true picture, you see. Sorry, I'm itchy. I'm a little itchy, you see. See, what I kind of find it hard to believe is that, very hard to believe and sad to, and also as well, I'm suicidal. I'm actively suicidal. If you ever met me, how do you know that I've not started my suicidal phase? How do you not know that I've eaten something or I've taken something to which I may have hours to live? I'm dangerous, unstable, and whatnots. So, you know, here's the really sad part about this, and this is pretty much the face of human beings today, is that I've never had a relationship in my life, and I'm kicking that phase, kicking that door down where I've always been single all my life. I've always, like, been alone all my life. I'm kicking that door down where I want to change. I want that change to happen. And basically, I'm kicking that door down so then I can start be someone in my life. Like, right now, the picture is, in the future, maybe 20, 30, 40 years from now, when I'm old, when I'm this and that. Right now, the picture is, you look at me, and you're sad, and you're sad, you're upset, and you're wondering, where's your kids, where's your grandkids, where's your else, anything like that, where's this, where's that, where is it? And then you realise that the choice that he made was, I've never had a relationship. Waste of time, waste of space, waste of, things like that. No such thing as freedom. That's my heart trying to reset. See, being suicidal stops your living functions as well. And your heart is trying to reset. And thus, it's trying to pump the blood so that you can live on. And that's the stage at the moment. That's the scenario at the moment. And you know what my reply will be? As an old man, my reply will be that love is illegal for me. I can't find love, no matter who I flirt with, no matter who I, like, chit-chat to. They will suddenly become self-aware. Like, people have that gut feeling. Let me explain the self-aware feature of this situation. The girl who I flirted with, she basically had a self-aware kind of feeling. Like that gut feeling when someone is a bad person or a bad omen or something bad might happen to them in their life, even if they went for them or something. Like, say for example, person A went for person B, not knowing what the future will be, but later down the line, 20, 30 years down the line, that person A kicked the living shit out of person B and killed her at the same time. And I'm not saying that will actually happen. I'm not saying that, no way. I no way. That's not me. But basically, that person who I flirted with had the self-aware, had the self-aware. That kicked in the moment I flirted with her. And thus, thus, here we are, arrested, this, that. I'm just waiting for that person, chat. I'm just waiting for that person, that professional person, that therapist, that analyst, that doctor, that looks at this case, and instantly he realizes that basically what we're doing is we're just pushing the suicidal man to his suicide even further. We're just pushing him with a stick, pushing him with a pointy stick. No such thing as remorse. No such thing as, oh wait a minute, he's a human being and he's trying to flirt with this girl so then he can make a life for himself. There's no such thing as that. None of that exists because that girl used that self-aware thing, and she predicted that during our relationship that something bad might happen, even though I'm not a monster, even though I don't do that kind of shit, you know. That's basically what happened. I'm sick and tired of, like, keeping it secret. But I hope this little insight, if you ask me, got you a picture of what happened. But when that professional person looks at me and looks at my earnings, my living standards, my everything, when that person or doctor or anyone of kind looks at the magic of how that woman cured me, when that person, doctor or something like that, sees all that, then this is where he goes, "Your Honour, I'd like to interrupt, and here's a report of what's happened." That's when things be in my favour. I'm just thinking about it right now, I'm just fantasizing. Fantasizing is my way forward towards everything like that right now. I always fantasize. I always have an imagination. Those who know me, I always have a vivid and wild imagination. Like, what if scenario. I always imagine it. Every time when I imagine it, every time I imagine the positive thing, every time I imagine that what if she came to me, it just kills off my suicide thoughts. It just makes me better again inside. You know, it just the more I think about it, the more I just, want it to happen. The more I think about it, I just want to, dare I say it, make it happen. Like, in a way, in a dangerous way. I don't know what to say to you, chat. But turn off that machine. I hope what I just said to you gives you a little kind of, like 6-demon bag. What's in the 6-demon bag? I hope the little, what I just said to you gave you a little insight of what's happened. Basically, the chick that I flirted with became self-aware. And, like that weird gut feeling that something bad is about to happen. We all have it. Like, we all have it. When you go out and about and you think you're about to do something is wrong, and then you just you just walk away from it. It's an instinct or something like that. I don't know how to describe it, but it's kind of like we all have it. But sadly, that chick just decided to use that self-aware, and she predicted something bad will happen, and here we are. I know I'm breaking the rules and all that, and I know I'm just chit-chatting, but I gotta get this out of my system, But at the moment, you were all just pushing me to my suicidal mind. You're all just pushing me towards the cliff, to my end. You're all just boosting that effort. You're not with me, and that's where I come to the thought where none of you people are humans. None of you people have that thought of, wait a minute, we're dealing with a suicidal person, and he's decided that this person that changed his life killed off his suicidal thoughts and basically fixed him. thus, you know, I don't know why, but I got a weird hairstyle today. I call this the psychedelic look, basically. I call this the look that, you know, that symbolizes that I've gone crazy. You know, like, if you see me without a haircut or something like that, or everything just gone all mad and everything, then you know that something's bad's about to happen. Well, unfortunately, nothing is in my favour right now. I'm just thinking about it right now. What if that happened, and what if this happened, and what if that happened? And then what if this happened? Now I know the answer to all these what ifs. You know, ultimately, someone's going to die. You know, someone's going to die. And yeah, it's kind of a bad, massive thing to happen. Like, someone's going to die whenever I think about these scenarios. The first scenario is a good one. This happens, that happens, and then this happens, then everything changes. Everything changes. Everyone just thinks, holy crap. And most people accuse me of this happens, and then they just can't deal with it. And thus, everything is in my favour, and everyone just suddenly just comes to me and apologises to me in a way, in a very, very nice way. The second scenario, this happens, that happens, and most people don't like what's just happened, and thus they cannot believe it, and therefore this happens and that happens, and it all just goes haywire, and someone ends up dead, basically. And the third one, well, none of it happens, and something does happen. Most people, you know, like, are aware about it, and most people are not aware about it. Then the whole thing just goes all mad and nuts, and one person dies, and the rest are just there. And the best part is that after this person's death, it kind of continues on to a point where ultimately it becomes in my favour. And thus, when that happens, then six demon bag, and again, friendship again. And when that happens, then it's gonna stick to your mind for quite a long time, and ultimately there is no end to it. There is just a full-on permanent kind of stuck to it, and that's when, you know, like, I like to think of it as a ending in my favour. Like, I like to think of it as that, with a very, very big permanent kind of, like, permanent kind of mark to it. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Sometimes I think about the first ending, first one, the first choice, and I just think, how in the hell did that happen? Now with the first choice, there comes two endings. There's the good ending and there's the bad ending. The good ending, then that happens, and the bad ending, then this happens, then ultimately this happens, and something in that very timeline, in that very place, is ultimately not in my favour, and thus things change. I know I'm being very cryptic to you, but like every time I think about all these endings, every time I think about all these scenarios, like the first one, I just think, wow. Anyways, sorry I just got into a rant, but yeah, welcome to Cheeky Breaky featuring Max, part 1. In this live stream, I talk about ranting. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for liking, thanks for commenting, and yes. You know, I've been watching a lot of, here's one thing, right, really cool. I've been watching a lot of people on YouTube buying like storage units and eBay kind of boxes are full of tech and whatnots and random stuff. I'm just thinking to myself, like, there's a whole lot of money in that kind of topic. Like, you buy a storage unit and it belongs to a guy who died, and he ends up being a secret famous guy, or a secret millionaire famous guy. He's got things in his garage that are so rare that are worth thousands, or hundreds of thousands, and then you're just like, whoa. Like the same thing with eBays and things like that. They buy all these storage units, and what they open is brand new stuff like laptops and phones and PS5s and whatnots, and it's just a treasure trove worth thousands. It's kind of really scary to think about that. But yeah, the scary keyword today is eBay. The other scary keyword today is Moon Knight. And the other scary keyword again is Wagwan. If you're from the UK, you probably know what that means. But if you're from not from the UK, it means what's going on in a slight kind of way or something like that. I don't know which part of England invented that, but Wagwan. It's one of the phrases that Moon Knight says is in the Moon Knight, and he just went, oh, I don't know. This is feature just smashing like a kind, and it's cool, kind of like I can. I'm thinking, I did not. There's nothing. It's very chatful. More. Bro, move the chest a bit, but Van